Welcome to Frequency Matters, the RF Microwave Update Series. I'm Pat Hindle, and I'm here with my co-host Eric Keim. In this episode, we're going to cover our October Passive Components and Integrated Assemblies themed issue. And the cover story is The Critical Role of Passive Components in Electronic Integration. And it's written by Stephen Pong, who is at Infinite Electronics. And he discusses how they're used in various applications. So very informational article there. Eric, what do we have for other technical articles?
Thanks, Pat. Well, we have an application note from ADI that looks at PCB design for beamformer ICs, and those have become so important in phased arrays and massive MIMO antenna systems. So the article walks the reader through some design tips, concerns about manufacturing tolerances, routing guidelines, and many other useful tips. And we also have a tutorial that gets into extracting diode parameters using XL optimization. And this is part one of a two-parter, and this one focuses on the on-region characteristics. And it's really interesting what has been done with a simple, widely available tool, so please take a look at that. And finally, we have a special report from Filtronic that looks at the future of X-Haul in the telecom industry. And of course, X-Haul is front haul, back haul, mid haul, all the parts of a transport network tasked with getting data from the source to the core network. So that's a good overview of the technical aspects and challenges using W and D band and what needs to be done to implement them in networks.
We had a special guest join us today, Mark Murphy, Product Line Marketing for High Power Amplifiers at Mini Circuits, joined me to talk about the RF energy market. Let's take a look at a clip from that now. Who have been your biggest early adopters of the solid-state RF energy sources so far, and where has Mini Circuits found the most success?
Yeah, so we've seen adapters across a diverse range of applications. An example of that is fusion energy. We've seen semiconductor plasma generation also becoming very interesting for us. And we're seeing medical applications in different forms. And then the old reliable industrial applications like heating and plasma. So a very diverse mix. And as we extend our portfolio, we see requests for applications that we never knew existed. And what we've seen is that RF energy, it has been around a long time. People are comfortable with it. They're comfortable with what they can do with it and what it offers. And what's now starting to happen is for these new applications, people are starting to realize that solid state solutions now offer the precision and the dynamic control that basically wasn't available until now. So it's given them that extra finesse that they can now do things that they would have liked to have done. They knew how to do it, but now they have the control to do it. That's the reason Mini Circuits solid state solutions have been successful. Put those solutions together, we make them easy to use. And essentially, we create them as turnkey solutions. And that means that the customer can come in, take the products we have, and they don't have to worry about manufacturing complex RF amplifiers. We do that.
Mini Circuits has been doing a lot of work with high power amplifiers, so it's very interesting to see how they're meeting the needs of the RF energy market. And turning to the news, on the testing front, there are a couple of developments. Viavi Solutions has opened the Viavi Automated Lab as a Service, or VALOR, Open RAN testing facility in Chandler, Arizona. And this is funded by a grant for the U.S. National Telecommunications and Information Administration Public Wireless Supply Chain Innovation Fund. And VALOR offers a fully automated, open and impartial lab as a service, test as a service suite for Open RAN interoperability, performance, and security. And it's a highly automated, on-demand, pay-as-you-go approach to the standardized testing that simplifies the development and deployment of Open RAN technologies, and this offers new entrants and startups a pathway to U.S. certification without the need for significant investment in hardware and software. And also, Spirent Communications announced that its new 5G fixed wireless access testing services are available, and Spirent's 5G fixed wireless access solutions offer a lab-based 5G, Wi-Fi gateway testing, and live network competitive benchmarking, and it will enable communication service providers and device manufacturers to better optimize quality of experience and to differentiate their offerings in an increasingly competitive market. And this will accelerate the 5G fixed wireless adoption and is seeing high demand from network performance evaluation to just growing rapidly. There's more than 200 CSPs launching home services and 20 CSPs introducing 5G fixed wireless business offerings. And finally, the mobile communications industry has been provided with a new guidance on building blocks needed for autonomous networks that will encompass artificial intelligence. And this was with the publication of NGMN's Automation and Autonomous Systems Architecture Framework, Phase 2. And this latest updates provide guidance and direction on the use cases of requirements and architectural principles to embrace interoperable, multi-vendor, and standards-based autonomous networks that will help manage the increasing complexity of the evolving 5G advanced ecosystem. And so, Eric, what did you see in the news?
Well, I'm going to put on my market research hat, and unfortunately, more headwinds in the telecom segment. Dell'Oro released a report that finds telecom operators are scaling back their investment in 5G and fixed broadband technologies. And fixed broadband, as you just mentioned, had been a bit of a silver lining, so that's a bit disappointing. In their view, global telecom capex, so the sum of wireless and wireline or other telecom carrier investments, declined 10% year over year in the first half of 2024, partly due to built-up inventory, weaker demand in China, India, and the U.S., excess capacity, elevated uncertainty, and challenges monetizing 5G, so a whole host of challenges there. And they're looking at capex decline in the low to mid single digits out through 2026. So definitely clouds remain on that horizon. But not to end on that down note, Yole Group released a report on RF front-end technologies, and it's notable for a couple of reasons. First, and not surprisingly, the mobile segment dominates revenue, accounting for more than 80% of a $21 billion opportunity. Now, they're forecasting a recovery in the handset market in 2024, with revenue hitting $18 billion, so that's the good news. But then they anticipate revenue staying flat out to 2029 because of saturation and pricing pressures, so that's the not so good news. And they're very bullish on the automotive opportunity for front-end modules, forecasting that segment to be the fastest growing opportunity and reaching nearly $1 billion in 2029. So take a look at that release on our news channel because there's much more information in that release.
Yeah, and turning to events, we attended European Microwave Week in Paris a couple weeks ago, and it kind of rained a lot during the week, so it wasn't great for sightseeing, but it was a great week for the event. In the Defense Forum, there were talks from the device companies, as I said before, from UMS, Qorvo, and Integra Technologies, and along with systems companies like Thales, Hensoldt, and MC2, plus Rohde & Schwartz was there on the test side. So they discussed some of the latest developing technologies for future systems. And the forums that they have there were really unique and bring together, the device component and systems elements together. And so they're a unique opportunity to network and really see the whole ecosystem with technical presentations and get-togethers. And another example of this systems level participation was Nokia. They had a live demo of the first full duplex wireless transmission for fixed point-to-point links. And this demonstration was in D-band spectrum using their Wavelength ultra broadband transceiver. And the technology allows for simultaneous transmission and reception of signals over a single channel with an impressive 10 gigabit per second for the uplink and 10 gigabit per second for the downlink. And this is over a 2 gigahertz channel. So it kind of sets a new benchmark for efficiency and performance in the wireless front haul and back haul. And these types of activities really set European Microwave Week apart from IMS and other events. They don't have as many opportunities like they do for network level to device level companies to all work together and get to know each other and network. So I really think it's a unique opportunity. And this year was a record-setting year for attendance, over 5,000 attendees, and also was the most square meters of exhibition space that they've ever had. So join us next year in Utrecht and you can visit the Netherlands. Eric, what did you see for trends at the event at European Microwave Week?
Well, European Microwave was a good show. There was a lot of good energy, and as an observation, the attendance, while lower than IMS, seemed to hang in a bit better over all 3 days. And there wasn't quite as big a drop-off on Thursdays as we typically see. But being so close to IMS, it's tough for companies to have too many new announcements. So many of the trends were the same as we reported from IMS. I saw lots of millimeter wave and sub-terahertz components, and that's good because we can't make these systems that we've all been talking about without connectors, cables, amplifiers, passives, etc. As you just noted, there were lots of test and measurement companies displaying high-frequency equipment, targeting inexpensive to very sophisticated applications. And again, that makes sense. You can't develop high-frequency systems if you can't test them. One of the biggest takeaways for me was the big presence of Chinese companies and the breadth of the component and equipment portfolios that were on display. And of course, the software EDA companies were out in full force, and they're doing some really interesting things. So it must be fun to be a design engineer these days, but I digress. And as a reminder, our Radar Satcom automotive-themed EDICon Online Educational Day is October the 23rd, and you can register now at edicononline.com or on the Microwave Journal website. The keynote is how Raytheon's advanced technology team turns next-generation technologies into real-world warfighting capabilities, given by Matt Tyock, Director for Next Generation Sensors and Microelectronics for Raytheon Advanced Technology. So don't miss that. And that wraps up this episode. Our sponsor is Mini Circuits, and Mini Circuits is a global leader in the design, manufacture, and distribution of RF and microwave components and integrated assemblies with more than 10,000 active models. And remember, as an industry member, a subscription to Microwave Journal is free, so please visit our site and subscribe today if you're not already a subscriber. Thanks for watching this episode, and please join us next time for another Frequency Matters.